students, a very warm welcome to all of you. Your Anubha ma'am, your AG ma'am is here in front of you, and this is session number 2 of electrolysis. So ICSE 10th class students, I hope you're pretty excited because VIP series is going wonderful and awesome. So you know that we are doing Umang series videos on both the channel, Hindi and English channel. Hope you're following properly. Then we are doing one shot series. That's like something we're going to continue from next week, and apart from that VIP series with very important questions and very important topics, so that you will know what kind of a question can come from a particular chapter and you can come here and revise with me, okay, with all of those important questions. So I hope you have followed one shot video of electrolysis as well as all the subject particular session wise videos as well. So are you all with me? Give me a quick high five. Let's make this channel a very big hit as well. All of your videos by AG ma'am a hit as well. For that, you have to like the video, share it among your friends, and definitely if you're new, please subscribe for all the upcoming videos so that you'll get it on time. So we'll start it right away. I hope you have seen session number 1. If you haven't seen, please see because it's quite important. And today we are going to talk about preferential discharge of ions, that when we have more than one cation or anion, how will we decide which will go towards the cathode and anode? Electrochemical series quite important because on that basis only we'll be able to select the ions that are going to discharge on a particular electron. And then electrolysis characteristics we'll definitely talk about. Okay, so shall we start with the very high Josh? Let me present the very first question right away in front of you. And the question is quite interesting, I must say. This is a good question. Good question. And what this question is, how is it possible to discharge sodium ions in preference to H ions in electrolysis of NaCl solution? So when I talk about NaCl solution, basically I'm having sodium ion chloride ion. Solution means it's there in water. I am having H ion and OH ions. So they're just asking, you know, electrochemical series, I have taught you in the past that in electrochemical series, sodium came in very starting and hydrogen came in very, almost in the last. And what I did told you that when we move in electrochemical series, their tendency to discharge at the cathode increase. Their tendency to discharge at cathode increases. All right, their tendency to discharge at cathode increases. So we must have this point in mind that H ions should move towards cathode because cathode attract cation, being a negatively charged metal rod. Now they're saying that is it possible that any positive ion will go towards cathode, not H positive? If yes, yeah, that's baby, because there will be one or the other kind of a solution. If yes, then what's that solution will be? That's a very good question. So the question is regarding to the cathode which I'm taking. If you take a normal platinum or carbon electrode, that's what will happen, that H ions will move to give hydrogen gas. But if you take mercury electrode, there's a very important electrode. You will get to know about that in higher classes. I did get to know about that in my bachelor's, called as DME, dropping mercury electrode. Okay, so we'll take my cathode as dropping mercury electrode, as it's a liquid, so it will come as a drop by drop. And now you know that mercury is having very good tendency towards sodium. The reason is they form an amalgam. Okay, so as this mercury is about to come to the solution in a form of a drop, this drop is becoming bigger in size. Your Na positive ions will go and take electron and they form basically an amalgam that's not having a tendency in case of H ions. So this particular case, by choosing a perfect electrode, because there are 2-3 conditions on which these preferential discharge depends. One is concentration of solution, definitely concentration of your ions. Second is my electrochemical series, and third is nature of electrode. So you should know about that properly. Isn't it like a good question? Do let me know. I enjoyed it, by the way. And you're like, ma'am, how can you enjoy questions and giving their answer? Because that's not my job, and when I do that, that makes me happy. Okay, so that your job right now must be to study it properly and do your job properly as well. Question number 2 is, a certain metal says M, okay, does not liberate hydrogen from dilute sulfuric acid. I have taken sulfuric acid, I'm telling that's a metal not able to displace hydrogen. What information we can get from this fact that this metal is less reactive than hydrogen. Okay, this metal is less reactive than my hydrogen, but obvious that's why it's not able to displace it. Now they're telling but displaces copper from aqueous copper sulfate. When you take copper sulfate aqueous solution, this metal is able to displace copper, means this metal is more reactive than copper. Say the most likely place for the metal in electrochemical series, but obvious that substance, that metal will be where. I'll try to show it to you. First hydrogen will come in the reactivity series, then this metal, and then comes copper. So that's how we can place it in the electrochemical series. I hope you got it. On the basis of reactivity only I got the answer. And let's have this competition. It's not like ma'am speaking too much. You can always give your answer in the comment section. You can always write your messages right now in the chat section as well. All right, so let's keep going that. Let's keep going. Again, here comes the next question. I hope you'll download the file, because every time whenever we are done with the session, I upload these handwritten notes. I send it to the team so that they can upload it. You can have those notes with the proper solution as well. Okay. Let's have question number 3, which says M is a metal above hydrogen in the reactivity series. Cool. And its oxide has a formula M2O. Okay. That is giving a good amount of information that M is one that's having valency 1, because that's how we get our compound by crisscross multiplying the valency. So we can figure it out. This M is the one that's having valency 1. Okay. This oxide and this M2O, this oxide, when dissolved in water, form a corresponding hydroxide, which is a good conductor of electricity. You put it in water, that gives hydroxide. Good conductor of electricity means good conductor, means that's totally dissociated in the water. If that's totally dissociated in water, that means that must be an alkali, because alkali are the ones that totally going to dissociate into ions and could be a good conductor of electricity. And those alkali possibility that we have is either sodium or potassium. What say, right? Yes, that's a good question as well. What kind of a combination exists between magnesium and oxygen? Like what kind of a bond formation my M metal and oxygen will show? Definitely an ionic bond or electrovalent bond. The reason for the same is M is a metal, alkali metal in general, oxygen is a non-metal, metal combined with non-metal to give a what kind of a bond? Obviously ionic bond. Metal transfer its electron to non-metal, oxygen here, to give you that bond. Very well done. How many electrons are there in the outermost shell of M? That's what we figure it out, that this is an alkali metal. And in case of alkali metal, which is my group 1, they have 1 valence electron. Valence electron is 1. Got it? So that's simple as well. Okay. Next question, name the group to which M belongs. That's what I told you. That's group 1, alkali metals. State the reaction taking place at the cathode. Okay. So we have my metal oxide, and at cathode has a property to attract cation. Means that's a negatively charged electrode that is attracting cation, and definitely that's metal. So in my metal oxide form, which was M2O, I am having metal ions, okay, 2 metal ions. Why I'm positive? Because that's an alkali metal carrying a positive charge. They'll take 2 electrons at the cathode to give you 2 metal. That means 2 atoms of your metal. You can say that whatever is metal is 2 sodium or 2 potassium. And why 2 electrons? So that to neutralize the charge. That's what will happen at the cathode. Name the product at the anode. Okay, oxide ions are there. Oxide ion will go to the anode, will lose its 2 electrons and give you oxygen. And we need oxygen gas. So how will we do the reaction? Let me take another color. Okay. You will take oxide ion, and once you have to take 2 oxide ions so that they can give oxygen gas, and 4 electrons being lost here. So 4 electron must be accepted here. You can multiply this reaction by 2 as well, so that 4 electron must be accepted. Number of electron lost and number of electron gain must always be equal. Okay, you got it? So that's what I wanted to say. Okay, let's move ahead now. And here comes question number 4. And question number 4 is, during the electrolysis of aqueous copper sulfate between copper electrode, that's a good arrangement. We have aqueous copper sulfate, means copper ion, sulfate ion. Water will also dissociate to give H ion and OH ion. And what we are taking copper electrode only. I told you nature of electrode plays a very important part. Negative rod is cathode as it has to attract cation. Positive rod is anode because it has to attract anion, opposite charge. Now the question is, the sulfate here and OH ions are something that is acting as spectator ions. What exactly is the reason? They are not going to discharge at the anode and will remain in the solution as spectator ions. What is the reason for the same? That's quite obvious. I told you nature of electrode plays a very important role. These are my copper metal rods, and we have in a way copper anode. And you know that I told in my previous classes also, anode is something that's going to undergo oxidation. What is going to happen at anode? Oxidation. So it's made up of copper active electrode, and that copper anode will undergo oxidation. And remember, Leo goes to Gar. Loss of electron is oxidation and gain of electron is reduction. So loss of electron, oxidation, yeah. So what will happen? My copper anode is going to lose electron and showing oxidation. Copper will do what? Copper will give copper ions and electron will be lost. And these electrons will send to the cathode side. Cathode needed those electrons to become a negatively charged. These copper ions will start coming to the solution now. So that's the reason you are able to understand. My copper electrode, which is my anode, in form of copper ions, start coming to the solution. And in that process, as it's active and participating in my reaction, my sulfate and OH ion is having no place to go, and that's also liberating its ion, and no discharge of sulfate and OH ions are going to occur over there. That's a simple thing that you can understand by the same. And I think you got it. That's the reason. And that's written properly with whatever I said right now. Okay. Okay, here comes the question number 4. And the question is, again, that's a good question. How the blue color of electrolyte fades during electrolysis of copper sulfate solution. I'll always prefer to draw this because that gives all the information possible. I'm having copper sulfate solution. I'm having copper ion, sulfate ion, and in case of water, H ion and OH ion. So what will happen? We take my electrode. They didn't mention, so we'll say we are going to have our normal inert electrode like platinum that's not going to participate in the reaction. They're telling, as we have taken an aqueous solution of copper sulfate, that's definitely blue in color. And you know that I told in the analytical chemistry chapter also, my metal cations are the ones, especially D block metals, are colored in nature. So blue color is due to copper ions, copper plus 2 ions. And why the blue color fades away? Because these copper ions will go towards my cathode. Cathode is going to attract these cation, gives electron to it so that they'll be deposited over there in form of copper metal. All right. So what will happen? Copper ion starts discharging and going to the cathode, and the concentration of copper ion starts decreasing in my electrolytic solution. That's why the color will fade away as copper ions are going. Yeah, super easy, super clear. Do let me know. Okay. Okay, that's so wonderful. That's so wonderful. Before moving ahead, all the newcomers, let me just tell about the Vedantu platform also, because this is just the YouTube platform. We have our classes at our own platform, which is very much amazing and help you to score very good marks in terms of giving all the possible courses, because you have an authority to attend unlimited live sessions with all the fun and high level quizzes. Means in our class we have this say that you will get everything and you will be able to understand, and you'll see that as a fun. It's not like just learning. It will come out with the happiness. You'll be able to participate with the students throughout the world and can play quizzes in the replay also. It's not like you see replay as a boring thing. It's so interactive, and you'll answer the quizzes and you'll see your name in leaderboard that we have in every class. You'll be able to download all the possible content of Vedantu with the teacher's feedback with most important questions. Every doubt will be solved with the help of master teachers and a team of class teachers totally dedicated to solve your doubts. Now the best part is, as you know, exams are pretty near. You'll be able to revise each and every topic here. There are so many crash courses which we are going to launch, and some have already launched, and I'm also going to take, so you can participate. All the main subjects will be dealt properly, and you will be definitely able to boost your score. And the best part is, it's not like a very big deal. There is a link in the description box which was pinned by Vedantu 19 channel, and that is Get Pro classes. Click apply AGE Pro by selecting your grade and target. ICSE 10th definitely. And when you do that and apply this code, this is magical code, because AG Ma'am's code AGE Pro will give you 20 to 31% discount on MRP. Just for a month you have to pay 2159, and I think crash course will be like 1 or 2 months courses, so you can definitely join and can get the maximum benefit, because you have a tendency you can attend unlimited classes like 8-7 classes also in a day. It's totally up to you, and can plan it so it's like as cheaper as possible, 11 to 9 rupees per session, whatever 1 to 3 months course you're going to take it. So take the maximum benefit out of it, because it's going to help you a lot. Okay students, I hope you're properly oriented with the same as well. So we can move ahead. Here comes the next question. Question number 6. Hydroxyl ion is lower in the activity series than chloride ion. For sure, when I talk about these ions, chloride ion is higher in the series of electrochemical series, and then OH ion will be almost in the last. So I told you, in my series of cations and anions, generally whosoever will come at the lower position has more tendency to discharge at the respective electron. As these are anions, they'll go to anode, which is positively charged. And what will they do at anode? They will lose their electron. Now the question is what? Hydroxyl ion is lower in activity series than chloride ion, yet when a concentrated solution of HCl, a very concentrated solution of hydrochloric acid, is subjected to electrolysis, OH ion will not get discharged. Now that's a pretty question. And why exactly that is happening, students? Because as I told you already, that concentration of your electrolyte is also going to play a very important role. As we are taking a very concentrated solution, as you know, it's going to dissociate as a strong acid also, H ion, Cl negative and chloride ion. Water is in very less amount, yeah. So as it's not concentrated, as it's not diluted, so very less amount of water to give H ion and OH ion. Now what we see, my chloride ion is very much in excess due to a concentrated solution, very high amount of chloride ion rather than having a very low amount of OH ion. So chloride ions will something that's going to overpower, being too much in amount, having high concentration, and will definitely move towards anode. So OH ion will not get discharged at the anode. So do remember that concentration along with electrode nature will also play a very important role along with electrochemical series. So that's what a question worth doing it for this proper revision. Okay. This question says the aqueous solution of nickel sulfate contain nickel ions and sulfate. Aqueous, there is aqueous solution, means H ion and OH ions are also there. Which ion will move towards cathode? And when we talk about my cathode, you just say that aqueous solution of nickel sulfate contain nickel ion and sulfate ion. And among nickel ion and H positive ion, whatever will come down in the reactivity series, in the electrochemical series, will discharge at cathode. And nickel is more reactive and in the above position in the reactivity series than my H ion. So definitely H ion will move towards cathode and gives hydrogen gas, because cathode attract cation, give electron to it, and they gave a stable product here, that is hydrogen gas. Okay. What's the product at anode? And when I talk about sulfate ion and OH ion as well, OH ion comes at the last in the electrochemical series of anion, and that's having more discharge tendency towards anode. So what is going to happen at anode? 4 OH ions are going to move, so that I'm going to get a stable product it has to lose 4 electrons. So what we are going to get, 2 molecule of water, all hydrogen is consumed and 2 oxygen is consumed. 2 oxygen is left to give O2 and those 4 electrons being lost. So 4 negative charges gone now. I have 2 molecule of water, oxygen molecule of water will come to the solution. Basically, oxygen gas is going to discharge at my anode, okay? And electrons will send back to my cathode. Is that part super clear also? I think makes sense. So that's aqueous solution. Sadly, not nickel, not sulfate ion will move towards cathode and anode. That's a good question. That's a good question. So how are we going to attempt such questions? Fill in the blanks and all. Interesting one. Let's try this. The metal plate through which electric current enters in an electrolyte is dash, and it has dash of electrons. And second part is also somewhat related to this. So let's try to solve it again. And this is negative terminal. This is cathode and this is anode. Let's figure out the direction of current and direction of flow of electron. Anode is positive charge because electrons are going to go away from it. Cathode is negative charge because electrons are coming towards it. The flow of electron is from anode to cathode. And when I talk about the direction of current, then that will be just opposite. That will be cathode to anode. Means current will leave from cathode and comes towards anode. Able to understand? So the metal plate through which current enters in an electrolyte, that is anode, and it has deficient of electron because electrons are going away from it. The metal plate through which electric current leaves from an electrolyte is called as, in which electric current leaves from an electrolyte is called as cathode. As I told you a minute before, it has access of electrons. Electrons are coming towards it. Okay, obvious. The ions which discharge on negative electrode during electrolysis, cathode is something that's my negative terminal and that's going to attract cation. So what is going to come here? Cation. Okay, students, cation is the one that's going to discharge on negative electron. Negative electrode is cathode and attract cation. Thus, the ion is said to be cation. The ion which discharge on negative electrode during electrolysis is my cation. Okay, so that's what it is. So these are the 3 parts which is given. The ion which discharge on negative electron during electrolysis of access of electron, and these are the cation. Let's have the next part, which is the ions which discharge on positive electrode during electrolysis is. So positive electrode is my anode, as it has to attract anion. So the ions which discharge on positive electrode during electrolysis, they are going to lose its electron, and the ion is anion. Anion is negative charge, they lose its electron, and that's how they'll be stable. Hydrogen and metallic ions are cations as they gain electron. Metals are the one that's electropositive in nature and having positive charge, and they'll gain electron. Okay. Non-metallic ions are again anions, and they have a tendency to lose electron when they move towards my anode. Because they are having negative charge, they want to come to a neutral nature and they'll lose electron for the same job. So this is the question that was a little bit tricky because you are not having any options and you don't have to write something for the big explanation. You have to be very precise while doing that. So please make sure that you will do it properly. Okay. So these are the questions and properties and characteristics of electrolysis and preferential discharge. I hope it makes sense to you and it's super duper clear. And you know that how to be a part of Vedantu. Thank you so much for being there in this session. I hope you have already subscribed. You can go for Vedantu classes with all the live quizzes, coming to leaderboard, a healthy competition, and sessions as interactive as possible, live quizzes in the replay also, and getting a chance to come to leaderboard. All the content you will get, doubt solving with the help of master teachers and a team of class teachers. The best part is get all the crash courses and make sure your revision is going absolutely fine and you will be able to score better in your exams. The link in the description box pinned by channel, just click on it, select ICSE 10th class, apply code AGEPRO, that will give you 20 to 31% discount to have the course for 2159 rupees for a month and 5599 for 3 months. Like the price will go to 1866 per month. So more the time you'll spend here, more discount you'll get on MRP also, and can plan it just to have a session for as low as 11 to 9 rupees. So that's a good investment, good to have you. We'll be happy to have you in the session. You can follow me on Instagram as well, chemistry.vedantu_Anubha. And this is it from my side. I hope you got everything. Do let me know about the session in the comment section. We'll come next time with a new chapter. I hope you'll follow it. So that's it from my side. Thank you so much. Take care of yourself. Keep coming, keep following. Bye-bye.